Hi, this is Luen. Today I'm going to talk about uh, how to develop a volunteer profile page for the Philoscope project. So what is Philoscope project? Philoscope project is basically an application that pair up volunteering organizations and volunteers. So basically, volunteer organization could come to the site and find the volunteers, and also volunteers can come to the site and find out events and activities that volunteering organization posted. So it's basically a matchmaking application between volunteers and the organizations. So we'll get started. Because it is a volunteer, we are going to sign in first, and we are going to sign in as a volunteer, not as an organizer. So I'm going to use my Google sign in here, and it is redirecting using the Google authentication. So as you can see, this is a volunteer profile. I've already created the profile, so my basic information are there. I'm going to add a little bit additional information. So I'm going to click this edit, and I can change my name. I can also change my location, zip code, and country. And here there's a drop down of all the different countries here, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about I love teaching, I love and am passionate about STEM. Okay. So, and I'm going to save it here, and my skill and interest, let me see if I need to edit it. I do have software development background, and I'm also, let's see, and writing, whatever, right? So I'm going to save my skills and interests. So what this does is, as a volunteer, you are going to have to talk a little bit more about you, and find out so that the organizations can find out more about you. So this page is the edit page, but we're also going to have a view page so that if anybody's interested in finding more about the volunteers, this will be it. This image here is from Google, so because you are logged in as Google, so for the first phase of the project, that will be the image that you already have on the Google profile. Now for the skills and interests, this is an important part of the volunteer because you are going to say what you're interested in as a volunteer, because that's going to be taken account when the application is trying to pair you up and match you with the organizations that are looking for volunteers like you, volunteers who have specific interests. In this case, I am interested in children and youth. I'm passionate about saving the environment. Teaching and STEM is my areas of interest. The same thing with skills, right? You may have different interests, but you may have specific skills. For example, my background is in software engineering. I've done some teaching and project management. So those are some of the skills that volunteers can put in, because it is going to be important when when you have recommendations, and when you have when you are being paired up with the organizations that are looking for volunteers like you. So this is the basic information about it. And here, we are going to have recommendations in my engagement. My engagements really mean all of the sort of engagement activities that I've been involved in, and recommendation mean all the basically engagements that are recommended to me, right? That's because it matches my interests and skills. We're not going to go into those details for now because this is just strictly on the volunteer profile, but I do want to point out how the general information about the volunteer is, and some of the features that volunteer have once they log into the website. And I'm also going to change the mode here to basically, you can also have a very this is going to be mobile view, so that this is going to be sort of a responsive view for the mobile users. So the image, the tabs for the navigation is going to change a little bit here. Okay, so we're going to go to the code. Here, as you can see, once you come to the home page, the app view is going to have a navigation. Once you navigate specifically to the volunteer profile page, which is the tab that you have once you log in, right here is volunteer profile. It's going to take you to the volunteer profile page, right here, for example. Then it's going to take, basically go to the profile view right here. In the profile view, as you could see, there are, as how view works, there is a root tag. In this case, it's template. Within the template, you're going to see div, you're going to see container and layout, and that's how basically the view works in terms of presentation on the browser. So we are going to take a look at volunteer profile. The disable or not, it really has to do with whether or not you're in edit mode or read-only mode, right? Until you click that button at the top, your profile is not going to be editable. So those are some of the functionality that you have once these functions are called. JavaScript, some of the JavaScript function for edit mode is going to be triggered, and down here. And of course, once you have volunteer profile, each field is going to be the name, the email address, the location, zip code, the country selection, and a little bit about you, about me section, right? So, and the second card, as you can see on the page, is a different container, different card. Is going to be about skills and interests, and it's going to have the same edit buttons for skills and interests as well. And that is right here, and this sections is going to have the similar functionality as a profile. Okay, so what I would like to point out, of course, is in the JavaScript, there is basically a toggle, because you may be in edit mode or read-only mode, and you can see whether or not you wanted to cancel your edit mode. Are you going to how do we handle the edit mode? How do you handle the edit interest mode? Because as you can see, there are two cards, right? Profile and interest and skills. So there are two different functions for edit and cancellation, and also handling the submission of these changes. And when you first land, load profile is where your basic information, if you're logging as Luyen, obviously we're going to go fetch that data about Luyen from the Firebase database. And the volunteer country items are hard coded here. This is all the countries that are listed that you can see on the UI. I also want to quickly point out that types and skills, as you can see, volunteers has the list of skills and interests in the drop down, and this is really managed in the going back here in the under the store. Here's the skill type, and here's the engagement type. So these are some of the skill sets and information about interests and skills that are being listed. Okay, so that's the profile page. I also want to quickly take you to the basically, the Firebase database here. Okay, database. I am going to, I'm going to sign in as Philoscore because that's what it is. Okay. So we are going to go to the console of Firebase environment, and we're going to get to the database because I wanted to show some of the basic structure of how volunteers database structure is. Here we're going to go to the real-time database. Okay. So as you can see, volunteers have a different node under the database. Each volunteers has basically different names, and login, volunteer interest, volunteer skills are saved separately as well. Then and the UID is, of course, is the user ID of the volunteer, and the skills, interest, location, name, about me, country. So if you have put in any information about you at all, your basic information will be under about me, right? So if you have any information at all, so you can also see, so here's the skills, here's the interest, here's the name, email, country, about me. So these are some of the informations that that volunteers have. So these engagements, if you have engagements under the volunteer, it means that you have signed up for certain engagements. If you have never signed up for the engagement, you're not going to have that data underneath it. So that's one of the things that I like to emphasize, because we are not going to go through how do we sign up the engagement as a volunteer in this video. So I hope this helps, and there are a lot more details for the rest of the page, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.